People always say, you know, anime live action is a lost cause, it can't be done, there's no point in trying to make these anime into live action films or TV shows because it's hopeless, it just doesn't translate well, it doesn't work. Well, what about Black Lagoon? Let's talk about it. Let me just start by saying Black Lagoon is a very beloved series for me. I've always held it in high regard. I think the story and characters are so badass and fun, and it's just a high octane, action-packed, fast-paced hell of a ride. It probably helps that it was one of the first handful of anime that I watched when first getting into anime, but even after rewatching it multiple times, it holds up. It's a great series and awesome anime. I highly recommend checking it out. But enough of what I think about the series, we'll get to more of that in a review. The reason we're here for this video is to talk about how Black Lagoon is one of the most perfect candidates for an anime live action to be adapted. For starters, I think one of the most obvious reasons that Black Lagoon would make for a perfect live action adaptation is because if you've seen Black Lagoon, then you know it has a heavy neo-noir theme to it. It's almost reminiscent of something straight out of GTA. Grand Theft Auto, in case for some reason you didn't know. It doesn't take place in a world that immediately screams anime. A lot of the things that we think about when it comes to the face of anime and why many would say anime live action shouldn't exist aren't too abundant in Black Lagoon. It isn't a show that is too fantastical or obscure to see painted in a live action setting. And in fact, it's a setting we see a lot of live action cinema float in the general sense, both visually and tonally. I'd say Quentin Tarantino has a great sense of this with his movies, and he's absolutely one of the best choices to direct a Black Lagoon film, hypothetically speaking. I think it's safe to say that Black Lagoon is one of those anime that isn't heavily influenced by Japanese culture. That's not to say that it's influenced by America. I think there are definitely some Western themes present in the tone, and you can see the similarities of Quentin Tarantino's films throughout the series of Black Lagoon, when it comes to the pacing and the way the action is played out. But when it comes to culture, I think Black Lagoon is its own thing. You've got a Russian female character in there who's like one of the most badass female characters in anime. A Taiwanese woman. Revi, one of the main characters, is Chinese American. But there's a lot of different culture in there, not just Japanese, not just American or Western, but there's a lot. And even if the tone seems to take more of a Western approach, the creator of the series is Japanese, so there's still that initial love for Japan integrated with the main character being Japanese and various other things. It's kind of like Mario. I know you've all seen that meme where it's like Mario is an Italian plumber made by Japanese who speaks English and looks like a Mexican. Yeah, completely its own thing. That's how I would describe Black Lagoon. It doesn't necessarily follow other trends that other anime do that make it seem more exclusive to Japan. It feels kind of like a Quentin Tarantino, you know, Western Hollywood American movie, but it's also not that. There's a lot of culture there. So it's kind of its own thing. It could be set anywhere because there's a lot of different countries and races and cultures present, and I like that. It would fit well as something for Hollywood to make. Explosions, action, badass characters. Again, like I said before, something like a Quentin Tarantino film. Ever played the game Wet? It reminds me of that in a way. Just the cues, similar vibes. If I were to look for talent to make this hypothetical Black Lagoon live action project, these are the kinds of examples of art that artists have created that I'd want to take into account when searching for members to be on board for the team. Anyways, that's where I'm gonna end this video. Just wanted to talk about Black Lagoon and the possibility of it becoming a live action adaptation, because I don't think enough people put this series in the conversation when saying anime shouldn't have live action. And like I said before, I think it would be a great fit. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a like on the video, it helps me out a ton. Subscribe if you haven't already, that also helps me out a ton. Thank you guys so much for watching, I really appreciate it. And until then, I'll see y'all in the next video.